Buckley will come back April or May.
I believe so, yeah.
And we'll tie this whole thing up in a bow. Never to be spoke of again, probably.
Well, enough about us.
Okay, yes.
One of the things I did want to talk about, which I found interesting, is I was looking for ideas and topics. You know, we just had the adoption, essentially the anti-LGBTQ adoption ban passed here in Tennessee recently, and coming up this year, the Supreme Court's going to decide whether faith-based foster care, it's a mouthful, agencies can reject same-sex couples as well. So I didn't know if you'd seen that yet or not, but I wondered, as we've often talked on here and we've heard from Chris and Marissa and others, you know, as soon as one state passes a particular law or has something happen, we might see traction in other areas. Do you think this is a part of that, or is this something totally different?
I don't think it's going to change anything right here, right now in this climate.
Yeah.
I think there's more reason than ever for the people against us to continue on the path of discrimination.
Yeah.
And so here I don't see it happening. I think we're in for a long, long game.
I'm worried a little bit about the new makeup of the court, though, on this one, because they've kind of addressed this before, but not with the majority they have now. So I mean, and again, it sort of goes into the if you're accepting the referrals from the state and money from the state, then you shouldn't be able to discriminate.
That's right.
So the state is now no longer referring cases to this particular agency in Philadelphia, and that's why they're being sued.
Yeah, it's a Catholic.
Yeah,
right?
it's a Catholic Charities Ministry.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's important to note here that, and I mean, Chris, when last month when we talked to Chris, he wanted to make sure it is wrong. So what I'm about to say doesn't take away from that, but there are options for GLBT to folks to foster and adopt. You're just not going to be able to roll into any agency to get your background check and your home study and all those things. So it could cost you more. I mean, there's consequences, but we're not completely.
Yeah, we're not X'd out of the market, but at the same time, you know, it almost feels like a very separate but equal type mentality.
Right.
Those words haven't been uttered.
No,
but
you're right.
It kind of feels the same. On a more positive note, though, we've got a couple minutes left, so let's talk about cartoons. So Disney announced its first official LGBTQ character in an animated feature. It's the new Pixar movie, Onward. Have you seen the commercials for this yet?
I have. Yes, I'm excited. I'm sure I'll see it.
The little boy brings his half of his dad back, but I didn't realize and we've got a little picture here of the poster, and so you can kind of see in the promo, and it's one of the police officers in the show, and I want to make sure I get this right. It is Officer Spencer. Officer Spencer, and it's the little Cyclops here. I don't know. Have we seen the picture yet there? But what do you think about that happening?
Well, I think it's wonderful. Of course I do. Right? It's the first time in one of their movies there's been a gay character. Is that right?
Well, not necessarily the first time that there's been a hint at it, but the first time that the character sort of comments. Or there's the post there. She's the one on the upper left with the Cyclops.
Right. And what she will do is refer to her girlfriend's child or something. And that's how you know.
Yeah, there's a close up over there. I know, right?
You're so funny. But so, you know what's going to happen? People who are not GLBT allies or GLBT, they are not even going to notice this reference. They're not even going to know.
Well, you know, I hope that's true, and it seems to be fine now, but I remember that, and as I was reading through the article, there were references to previous movies where it was just sort of like two women were pushing a stroller, or there were people in the background.
Right, Toy Story,
that caused
two women bring their child into...
Yeah, so hopefully this being a more main character, and it's not a huge part of the show. It just talks, you know, she mentions her girlfriend's daughter and that sort of thing. So it is a pretty big step, though, considering I know you've got a topic that we wanted to talk about maybe next time to do with Disney. And so it's always...
Disney. No, I'm fine with Disney.
They're always a mixed bag, you know? And you didn't think we'd be able to talk through just the two of us, but we're already out of time.
I know.
mean, you know,
darn it.
So, but we'll be right back with your first look at Nashville Fashion Week, so stay with us.